Energy's way up here today in here, so I'll tell you what, we're going to really work it out on this song. Stand on up and sing with us.
It's up to all of us to show what we're all about, to share the love that's in our hearts, the love that never runs out. Scatter the joy and spread the word, be a star shining bright. Fan the flame of life within you and shine your light. Well, I'm gonna shine, shine, shine. I'm gonna shine, shine, shine. Glowing from an infinite spark, I am divine. I'm gonna shine, shine, shine. I'm gonna shine, shine, shine. Walking in the Spirit, I'm doing fine, fine, fine. It's up to all of us to show what we're all about, to share the love that's in our hearts, the love that never runs out. Scatter the joy and spread the word, be a star shining bright. Fan the flame of life within you and shine your light. I'm gonna shine, shine, shine. I'm gonna shine, shine, shine. Glowing from an infinite spark, I am divine. I'm gonna shine, shine, shine. I'm gonna shine, shine, shine. Walking in the Spirit, I'm doing fine, fine, fine.
You sound great this morning. Y'all ought to go on the road. I'm not kidding. Or at least hang out in a cul-de-sac for a while together, because y'all sound really, really good. I'm telling you, Doug, you could have used your lederhosen on that song, I think, you were talking about earlier. That'd have looked fantastic. Good morning. Absolutely. It is so great to see you here this morning. We know that you are here by divine appointment. We are Unity of Music City, and we are a place of authentic transformation. That's who we are. It's what we do. These are some of the ways that we do it. Yesterday, we had a whole bunch of folks out here working on our grounds. The land lovers got together. Look at those good-looking people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. At least 14 people were out here helping our... And one taking the picture. That's right. Okay. So they were all out working here yesterday, and we're so appreciative of the work that they were doing to get our grounds ready for spring. Coming up on March 3rd, we have shamanic healings for the community. Oh, I missed that one, didn't I, Crystal? It's right there in front of me. Today is the day for the meeting after church for Nashville Chooses Peace. We're asking if you can. Thank you. Thank you, Ryan. We're asking everyone to stay who can and who feels so guided. It's going to be a brief meeting, just 30 minutes or so, but this is the kickoff to getting ready for that day when we welcome guests to our home here for a festival of peace. So please plan to stay. I'll mention it again right at the end of service so you cannot say that you forgot. Coming up March 3rd then, shamanic healings for the community. That is today, but it's also March 3rd. You can see Becky to reserve your space for that if you're interested in some of that shamanic training. This week we've got Tuesday. We've got a couple things coming up. We've got Mediumship and Intuitive Development Circle with Susie Wright, 7 o'clock on Tuesday. And Empath Support is also at 7 on Tuesday with Becky, Accessing Your Inner Warrior. So see Becky, or always remember that there are bulletin boards of information, and there's a bulletin you can pick up, a lot of different ways you can find out what's going on here at the church. Then this Thursday, February 21st, we have Reiki with Bonnie Hassan, 7 to 9, healing your issues with power and control. I I have no power and control issues. I am completely zen when someone would like to take control. I'm happy for that to happen. And you've never met me before if you believe that. All right. We're collecting money for the McGavick Cluster. Remember, we sponsor a table, the McGavick Cluster Coalition. I always have to get those C words in the right order. The McGavick Cluster Coalition is... That wasn't even supposed to be funny. All right. Here's what it is. It's a way to support our school kids, right? That's what it comes down to. It's a way to support our school kids. We sponsor a table. The table costs $500. And so we have gathered some of the money for that. But if you're interested in supporting that, there's still a few hundred that we could use, of course. So be sure and put that in the memo line of your check. Or you can just specify it on a cash envelope or talk to Charlotte after the service about it. And while we're talking about money, we're going to talk about those pennies. You know, we have now been talking about our heating and air conditioning system for 17 years. We're coming up on our, silver anniversary or something like that. Paper, what is it? I don't know. At any rate, we've been talking about these pennies for a long time, and we are really, really close, folks. We're really close. We need about, $900. So give or take, 9,000. Let's just go 9,000. No, okay. We need $900, and we can wrap this puppy up and not talk about it anymore. So there's penny jars back there. There's a penny jar back in the back. You can put it in the offering and specify it's for the heating and air conditioning system, and we can be done. We can be done, done, done. Speaking of done, I have been funny when I didn't mean to be, and when I tried to be, y'all were not paying attention. Let's just sing again, shall we? Come on, stand on up. Do you remember our hand motions?
Imagine that love is all around. See it, feel it, be love. Imagine that love is all that is found. See it, feel it, be love. When we become what we're longing for, we are knocking on heaven's door. Imagine that love is all around. See it, feel it, be love. Imagine that joy is all around. See it, feel it, be joy. Imagine that joy is all that is found. See it, feel it, be joy. When we become what we're longing for, we are knocking on heaven's door. Imagine that joy is all around. See it, feel it, be joy. Imagine that peace is all around. See it, feel it, be peace. Imagine that peace is all that is found. See it, feel it, be peace. When we become what we're longing for, we are knocking on heaven's door. Imagine that peace is all around. See it, feel it, be peace. See it, feel it, be joy. See it, feel it, be love.
Oh, yeah, y'all sound pretty. You do. Really pretty today. We got a couple of classes going on this week. I want to make special announcement about the classes. Of course, Lunch Bunch meets Wednesdays at 11:30 in the Namaste Cafe. Please come on out if you have some time in the middle of the day. And then Wednesday night is our Untethered Soul class. It's been just an amazing class. You'll want to come out. This is kind of the last class. But then next Wednesday is going to be really, really special because Judy Bernard is going to be here with her gongs to do a sound healing concert that's just going to kind of resonate all that stuff right down into the DNA of you. So please come on out. Even if you haven't been to any class, come on out to this one on Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, and be sure to put February 27th, next Wednesday, on your calendar. And then just quickly, after that, we will have a week off, first week of March. And a new class will begin on March 13th with the teachings of Muji. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the teachings of Muji. If you are, then yeah, that's why you're applauding. I don't know if you can read this or not, but this saying down here is something he's known for. Step into the fire of self-discovery. This fire will not burn you. It will only burn what you are not. So we are going to go down deep. We've just continuing the same work we've done in the Untethered Soul. So please put it on your calendar and come on out and join us. Now I'm going to light this because I forgot to light it. Yes, sir. Yes, we have a book signing. That's today or next week? Yes. Next week is Karen Ellie's book signing. I believe it's in the afternoon, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock. 3 to 5. 3 to 5. B?
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be a prayer chaplain? For those of you whose hearts are saying, maybe I should think about this a little bit, I should consider it, I should feel it, we invite you to come to our prayer chaplain meeting on March 3rd after the service, and we'll share with you some of the things that we do. And no, you will not have to make a commitment at that time, and you will not yet have to give your personal prayer to the congregation. That was a joke.
It's happening all morning, B. It's just...
Gotta give them a cue. It's all laughs, it's all love. So, the sacred reading. Understanding that I am love is the key to releasing a powerful force within me that can turn my dreams into realities. Often expressed by the phrase, like attracts like. The love force proposes that whatever you focus on and wrap your love energy around will become your reality. So, the affirmation. Aligning with the force of love attracts to me the desires of my heart. Say it with me. Aligning with the force of love attracts to me the desires of my heart. In this now moment, I quiet my mind and focus on my heart space. As my heart opens, that opening creates a space of allowing. I then begin to allow myself to experience the love that I am, the love that is always available to flow in and through me. In that flow, I can place the desires of my heart. What is it that I truly want? As I remain in the flow, I can experience love literally wrapping itself around my desires. This flow of love aligns my emotions, my actions, my very being with the desires of my heart. As I become the vibration of love, I am also becoming the vibration of that which I desire. Aligning with the force of love attracts to me the desires of my heart.
So I ask that you settle into your seats. Do a reset breath. And as you reset your breath, drop 18 inches to your heart. And in that drop from your head to your heart, you are aligning yourself in this now moment with the force of love. Right inside your heart are your deepest desires. Right inside your heart is the purpose for whence you came to this world. And aligning yourself with that love will, in essence, attract to you the desires of your heart. So in this now moment, if there is any other thoughts going on in our minds, we allow them to become quiet. And we focus only on our heart space. And that love that is the force that created this entire universe, that love that is the force that created you. You are the vibration of that love. And so in this now moment, you are allowing that vibration of love to wrap you and your desires in its energy. The beloved in the silence. In the silence. Oh, my dear one, beloved of my heart. Oh, my dear one, beloved of my heart. By what name shall I call thee? With what voice shall I beckon thee? Is it Allah or Buddha, Krishna or Jesus, or simply my dear one, beloved of my heart, or simply my
simply, my dear one, beloved of my heart. L-O-V-E is a little word that packs a lot of power. When it rules this universe, it will be our finest hour. It comes in all shapes and sizes, in various disguises. Open your heart and get ready for some beautiful surprises. Love, sweet love, it's the only thing that matters. Love, sweet love, it can mend a heart that's torn and tattered. Love, sweet love, rising from within. You gotta give it to get it, so put your heart in it. Love, sweet love. We sing of peace and brotherhood that we want for our planet. Love is the key ingredient that we cannot take for granted. Love is what will be for all the world to see. We'll walk this journey hand in hand in joyful harmony. Love, sweet love, it's the only thing that matters. Love, sweet love, it can mend a heart that's torn and tattered. Love, sweet love, rising from within. You gotta give it to get it, so put your heart in it. Give it to get it, so put your heart in it. Give it to get it, so put your heart in it. Love, sweet love.
You got to give it to get it. So put your heart in it. So today we're going to be talking about the force of attraction. Know that there was a time when we first moved into this building that I put the message out there that I was going to teach the class the law of attraction, and every Wednesday night we had over 75 people show up. Now tell me why. Because they want stuff, and they want to know how to get it. Today I'm going to give you the real lesson on the law of attraction, because it ain't about stuff. It ain't about stuff. But if you align yourself with the force of love, you can have all the stuff and then some. God's calling somebody. Stuff is calling. So before I even get started this morning, this is your conversation. After what you've heard this morning so far, meditation-wise, there was a song that we sang that was second. Imagine that love is all around. See it, feel it, be love. When we become what we're longing for. Do you understand that piece? Instead of wanting love, I have to become love. Instead of wanting joy, I have to become joy. Instead of wanting peace, we're all about National chooses peace. How peaceful are we as individuals? I have to become peace. So have that conversation with somebody next to you right now for just a second. So, did you answer all of your own questions? Somebody read that out loud that has a booming voice that everybody can hear. And they got slower at the end. Because hence why the people came out to my class and then some of them were disappointed. Because they didn't get the fact that they weren't focusing on what they really wanted. They're focusing on what they don't have. Does that make sense? There's a difference. Because when I have the energy around, I want a bunch of money, I can't pay my bills. Guess what energy you're putting out there? And you're going to get more of that. That's the way this stuff works, but we don't get that. We don't understand that the ability to attract into our lives whatever we focus on. It's where you place your focus. So I would ask myself, what am I focusing on the most every day, all day long? That's alarming for some people when I ask them that. And they go, oh, dear God. And I'm like, keep yourself a running tab. When you think about something, write it down. And then at the end of the week, look at it and go, ooh, I've thought about something that was broken 45 times. Huh. I've thought about not being able to pay that bill 72 times. You want to know why you can't pay that bill? Because you thought about it 72 times that you could not. Instead of wrapping your love around it, does that make sense at all? I'm trying to get down and dirty with you all this morning. You obviously signed up for this or you wouldn't be here, so lock the doors and don't let anybody out. Know that I tried to talk about all this years ago, and I had people in our leadership that ran me out of here. I'm going to be very honest. Because they didn't want to hear it. This is important, people. It's not just about you having a nice house and a car and a lot of money. It's about saving our planet at this point in time. Can you hear that? That's what it's about. Any worriers out there? You know, I work with people all week long, and I will have people that talk to me about all the things they worry, and I'm like, why do you want to sit and pay me for an hour to listen to what you're worrying about? I don't want it. Why do you want to worry about it? What would you rather have? What would you rather create? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about how upside down our world is? And what we've taught people to do? And hear me, I'm not against therapy. I've done that for a living for 35 years plus. But at some point in time, you got to shift gears. If you stay in low gear, you'll never get anywhere. If you stay sad and grumpy for the rest of your life, guess what you're going to get back? If you worry all the time, guess what you're going to get back? More of whatever that is to worry about. I don't know what people worry about. I know some of the things I have worried about over the years, and what I know is they didn't go away by worrying about them. They went away because I did something different. Can you hear that? I did something different. You cannot sit on your behind and worry about it and it go away. You cannot sit on your behind and do this and it go away. Energy is energy, and you have to move it, and you got to do something different. Even as Becky asked Rita will say, just get up and do jumping jacks and see what happens. It works. It shifts your energy. Some of you are going, oh dear God, I haven't done a jumping jack in 40 years. Well, just try it one-handed for a minute or something. Shift your energy. So, I am not here to tell you what you have been taught is not right, but it's not the whole story. So if you're a unitic or if you're a religious science fully, you've only been told part of the story. Okay? Everybody breathe. It's all okay. Unity teaches thoughts in mind reproduce after their kind. That's only part of the story. It is not just your thoughts that create your world. It's a part of it. Everybody breathe. It's all okay. Religious science teaches change your thoughts, change your life. But it's not just your thoughts that have to change. What does that say? Say that really, really loudly again. Any thought of love. Yes, ma'am. Running for president. Just thought I'd put that out there. Cool. So what if, here's a hint. What if I'm sitting and worrying about something? Let's use paying our bills, because that seems to be something that people come in and talk to me about. And I'm like, okay, what if you wrap your bills up in love and have a thought of love that I have so much money that I can pay my bills and some? But I don't know what that's going to be like. I can't do that. You see the difference? The minute I go down the scale and no longer feel love around even something that is rough, I have lost. Can you hear that? Any time that I move down the scale, and I'm going to show you a picture in a minute, and feel something less than that, I have lost whatever that is that I desire. This is like a no-brainer for me, but it's not a no-brainer for everybody. If I have a desire in here, it's got to be attached to love. It's in your heart. Does that make sense? Why would I have a desire that was attached to skankiness and sadness? I know I said that in a weird way, but why would I? Why would I deeply desire to worry for the rest of my life? Why would I deeply desire to live in a box under the bridge for the rest of my life? Why would I desire that? Does that make sense? Whatever's in my heart that I desire, I have to wrap it up in love. Most of you know that I worked with little bitty children. Little bitty children get this a lot faster than we do. We start with 4 basic emotions: happy, sad, mad, and scared. You know what those are? And if I ask a 4-year-old even, which one of those would you rather have? Happy. That does not happen with adults. Because some of us don't think we can have that. Some of you sucked the air out of the room. Because we're going to give you some more choices, but some of you have hung out in some of those other emotions so much that you don't know what happy feels like. I've had people at this church say, I've never been joyful. I don't know what that feels like. I can't imagine, but that's what they say. So here's the way I explain it to children. And thermometers are nicer than that now, but that's what I stuck up there. Those are the kind we used to have. Now they just like scan your body and boop, and you give you something. When I used to have emotional conversations with little bitty children, I would say it's no different than a thermometer. When your mother puts a thermometer in your mouth, what happens? And they would say, it tells her if I have a temperature or not. Does your mama send you to your room and say, you have got a really, really high temperature and we're not going to do anything about it? And you may be like that for a year, but we're not going to do anything about it. And they would go, no, Miss Denise, my mama wouldn't say that. So why do we do that with emotions? I'm going to ask that question again. Why would we do that with emotions? Because emotions are the same way. So why would we send ourselves to our room and say, I feel really, really mad, and I'm just going to hang out in this for the next year? Have a conversation with somebody about that. Did you answer your own question? And hear me, you may have more questions today when we're done. That's okay. Because you're just scooping off a layer of mess. I said mess, not anything else. You're just scooping off a layer. Okay? That is Abraham Hicks' scale. This is Denise's scale. Because this is easier when I work with children in school. But if you look up there with Abraham Hicks' scale, it tells you in very specific terms that unless you are at 7 or above, you're not going to manifest what you want. Can you see that? That is so very plain. And some of you, if you want this, if you will email me or send me a message, I will send you that chart. I've handed it out 450 times. Maybe 3 people have paid attention to it. I don't know. It says, at positive expectation, your desire is about to manifest. Positive expectation, not being in the What is positive expectation? What does that feel like? It's that you don't really know, but you're positive and you're expecting some good. How do you get there? From How do you get there? Do jumping jacks, Becky says. So let me explain how I use this chart right here with little children, and I promise you 4-year-olds could do it. I know if 4-year-olds can do it, you can do it. The example I used to give them, and they got it, is that I very seldom ever get below a 7. I very seldom ever get below that because I don't hold on to negative energy. It makes me sick, makes my body hurt. So, my 2 sons and my mother, you've heard about her. Sometimes I feel anger when I'm with them because of something they might say or something they might do. But what I also know is if I hold anger, I will say or do something that I don't need to say or do because it won't be pretty. And I'm not talking about, that I have the right to say what I want to say. I'm not even talking about that. Because I have found out that it's better if I can be peaceful there and work it out somewhere else. So the bottom line is, I don't want to be angry all through Easter dinner. I don't want to. Because if I am, my food's not going to digest. And I'm not going to have fun, and Judy's going to have a spasm trying to make sure that I'm okay and I'm breathing. And she doesn't need to have to do that. So very quickly, I can go, what could I think to be frustrated and not angry? Can you hear that? What could I think differently to be frustrated and not angry? Any of you's grandma had a pressure cooker anywhere? Do you understand about letting the pressure off? And if you don't, it's going to explode? Yes. You're doing the same thing with yourself. In this now moment, I'm angry because I'm thinking, whatever I'm thinking. What could I think that would relieve some of that pressure and make me be frustrated instead of angry in this moment? I may not, it'd be lovely to go, I really want to be happy and love and peaceful. What could I think? But I also know that sometimes with my mama, that's a harder climb than even with my 2 sons. So frustration is not as hard on my body. Does that make sense? This is about your physical body, people. Do you understand that these emotions down here cause disease in your body? There's another little something, something. If I hold anger too long, it gets in my joints. And then I can't walk. And then I can't move. Read Louise Hay. It's all about it. So, everybody breathe. It's not saying that if I'm sad, I don't need to deal with it. Or if I'm angry, I don't need to deal with it. But let's go back to what I said in the beginning. What does Becky Astorita tell people to do? Do something to move the energy. Because if you allow it to sit in your body, it will make you sick. Sick. Do you know what it feels like to be sick? Do you know where you get your sickness? Some of us create sinus infections. Some of us create back issues. Some of us create heart issues. We all create what we create with our emotions. I know some of you, this may be the very first time you've ever heard this and you're going, this woman is crazy. But I can tell you that there is huge amounts of research out there, even scientific research, that will say that stress will kill you. Stress will kill you. There is nothing more stressful than to hold anger and resentment at somebody for 12 years. I can promise you. Nothing. So somebody read that scripture out loud for the rest of us.
I will put my law within them and in their heart. I shall write it, and I will become their God, and they themselves will become my people.
That is a scripture. Again, I've talked to you about that, where Jeremiah was called the weeping prophet. Doesn't that sound like a fun job to hang up with? And he was always crying about the people. Because if you read Jeremiah, you would find out that the people were fighting with each other. See if any of this sounds familiar. They were not taking care of the people that didn't have places to live or things to eat. They were not taking care of the children or the old people. They were doing ugly things to the land. Does that sound familiar to you? And Jeremiah said to Spirit, God, whatever he called it, what do I do? And God sent him a message. The answer is in the people's hearts. Hence why we drop 18 inches to our heart. But know that just because that's written in the Bible does not mean that that's the only place that that was ever spoken about. So there is something you're going to see. I've got the praise and worship team coming up here. This is a small story about how that law of love, law of attraction, was put into our hearts. This came from the indigenous cultures. Just so you know that it's not just something I grabbed out of the Bible.
Once upon a time, a long time ago, the Creator called a meeting of all the people of creation, except the human people. When everyone else arrived, he said, I have a special gift for the human people, but they are not ready for it yet. Where should I put it so that they will not be able to find it until they are ready for it?
The salmon people spoke first and said, if you give this gift to us, we will take it down to the bottom of the ocean where no human being will ever find it.
The Creator said, thank you for your offer, but the gift will not be safe there because one day the human beings will build special machines to take them there.
The great buffalo people who roam the vast prairies said, we will bury it deep in the middle of the grasslands. There is nothing there to interest the humans.
The Creator said, one day the humans will build cities and connect every part of the plains and grasslands with roads and railways, and nothing will stay hidden.
Then the eagle people said, we will take it to the moon.
Once again, the Creator, in his infinite wisdom, said, they will go there too. These clever suggestions went on for most of the day, and each time the Creator gave his thanks to all the people of creation, but explained that in their endless curiosity to explore every part of the world, the humans would find it. After a long silence, Grandmother Mole, the shyest of all, tugged at the Creator's clothing. He bent down, and she whispered into his ear. Then the Creator smiled with delight, and all the animal people felt his warmth. The Creator said, that is the answer. We will put the gift for humans within their own hearts. They will never think to look there, and that's what they did.
We all have our own radar detector with batteries included and a lifetime guarantee. And when mine sounds, I better stop, look, and listen. And ask myself what message is here for me. Listen to your heart, even when it's breaking. Listen to your heart, knowing help is on the way. The Spirit inside you will lovingly guide you. Listen to your heart, and everything will be okay. Afraid and confused by all that we feel, torn between our hearts and our head. Creative solutions are just temporary, the right thing to do when all is done and said is listen to your heart, even when it's breaking. Listen to your heart, knowing help is on the way. The Spirit inside you will lovingly guide you. Listen to your heart, and everything will be okay. Sometimes it seems things will never work out, and all we can feel is pain. But if you understand the beauty in a rainbow, then you know there had to be some pain. Listen to your heart, even when it's breaking. Listen to your heart, knowing help is on the way. Spirit inside you will lovingly guide you. Listen to your heart, and everything will be okay. Listen to your heart, everything will be okay.
So when you listen to your heart, what do you hear? Bum bum. When you listen to your heart, what do you hear? And so if something is going on in my life that is causing me some stress, would it not behoove me to drop 18 inches in that moment to my heart and wrap my heart around it instead of trying to figure it out with my head? I know some of us have got all kinds of degrees plastered across our walls. And we are very proud of them. And sometimes they get in the way of what is the desires of my heart. Can you hear that? Sometimes all of that paper and all of that stuff gets in the way of the true desires of my heart. And what I focus on gets bigger. What is it that I really want? Now, know that some people, when they hear that, they go, oh, dear God, I had a thought about, and I don't want that. There is a buffer time, so everybody breathe. But I also will tell you that Grandmother Silverstar and some of the Native American people are telling us that that buffer time is getting slimmer and slimmer. Anybody noticing things manifest quicker right now in your life than they used to? Yes, they do. So that's a heads up. Be very mindful about what you focus on all day long because it will happen. There is a buffer time. But what I sense that's coming is eventually when we move into the next higher dimensions, there's not going to be a buffer time. You're going to have a negative thought and it's going to just plop right out there in front of you. Ooh, Lord. And then everybody's going to go, look what she was thinking about. Wow. Maybe that's the true day of judgment, you think? It's like, look at that. Woo! Isn't that exciting? Oh, no. So reset our breath. And know that it's about being in that space of our heart. Always. Now, that doesn't mean that I can walk around that way 24/7, but the more I can, the better my life will be. Even Jesus, the master teacher, if you read stories about him, every once in a while the people got on his last nerve. And it said he went up in the mountaintop. I don't think he climbed mountains. I think he just went and meditated and got away. Because he knew if he kept engaging with whatever that was in the moment, he was going to say or do something that he should not. Like turn the tables over in the temple. You know what I mean? It's like, brrr. That's a true expression of him being angry and pissed off at a whole bunch of people, and he made a big old mess. We do it too. A lot of us do it many times a week. And then go, I could have reset my breath in this moment. And possibly when I connect to my heart, something different will come out. You may not conceive this either, but I want you just to hear this. I choose love. Everything I see is either an act of love or a call for love. I shine light upon the darkness and bring joy to the surface, dropping the drama and picking up love. I can again claim happiness and peace within. I choose to bring love to the situation that tempts me to follow fear. Love is my ultimate intention, and so I choose to live in a loving world. If love is not my intention, then I'm not creating a loving world. Somebody sucked the air out of the room. If getting back at somebody is my intention, I'm not creating a loving world. If not allowing love to flow to me is my intention, I'm not creating a loving world. Some of you have been in Wednesday night class. You know, it's not just about you, it's about what you allow. So, I started this by saying why this is so important and why we're doing what we're doing at Unity of Music City. And Nashville Chooses Peace, because we are creating a true organic community, which is creating a place where people naturally connect. We're not through with that creation. Some of you have stayed and talked to some of us at tables in here and shared what you thought would be an awesome idea. And some of all those awesome ideas, now the leadership are going through gyrations and trying to figure out how some of that can happen. Because being a leader in that kind of an organization is leading from where you are. It doesn't mean you have to be some ascended master. But it means that from where I am, here's what I heard you say in a loving way. We're all learning together, people. This is an experiment, a great big huge one, here at Unity of Music City to create love and joy and peace, and I truly believe we can do it. And so I want to ask someone to read that. Can you hear that?
Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
I'd gladly walk across the desert with no shoes upon my feet to share with you the last bite of bread I had to eat. I would swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams. When all your hopes are sinking, let me show you what love means.
Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
I would whisper words so loudly every heart could understand that love and only love can join the tribes of man. I would give my heart's desire so that you might see. First step is to realize that it all begins with you and me.
Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
When we stand together, it's our finest hour. We can do anything,
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 anything.
Keep believing in the power.
Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? 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 Don't you think it's time?
Oh, thank you very much. Bridges. We like bridges around here. It is time for us to have the opportunity to give back in our sacred walk of abundance. Just as a reminder, we're going to start going this way, right, in the direction of good juju. That's what we call it. And so what will happen after we say our affirmation is that you can put your tithes and offerings in the crystal bowl and pick up an affirmation here. Let's say this affirmation together, will we? I live in the midst of infinite abundance. I give freely and fearlessly to life. and life gives back to me.
Many voices, one spirit, a new day is dawning. Can you feel it? Different choices we make, different roads we may take. We are many voices, one spirit, singing my song until the whole world hears it. Songs of peace and grace, songs of hope and faith, finding our common ground, we'll let the light shine through. We are many voices, one spirit, singing my song until the whole world hears it. Songs of peace and grace, songs of hope and faith, songs of love and all that human race. Many voices, one spirit.
So we open our hands and our hearts and our minds to wrap our love around the desires of Unity of Music City to be a beacon of love and joy and peace. And we know that as these tithes and offerings were given, we wrap our love around them also, knowing that we will have everything that we need to do those things that are the desires of our hearts here at Unity of Music City. And so we remember that it's about not just the thoughts, it's about the emotions that you wrap around them. Be with each of us. And so it is. Amen.
Amen. So let me just tell y'all how this is going to work, okay? Y'all are going to, well, first, love train, right? But then y'all are going to go out through Denise's licking line. That's what she calls it, her licking line. Don't actually lick her, okay? Just hug her, kiss her, whatever. Go through that line, put your coffee cup in the kitchen, go to the bathroom, and bring yourself right back on in here for us to talk for a few minutes about Nashville Chooses Peace. Let's say this together, shall we? The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
People all over the world join hands, start a love train, a love train. People all over the world join hands, start a love train, a love train. Hey, the next stop that we make, oh, it's gonna be England. And tell all the folks in Israel and Egypt and Russia and everywhere too. Don't miss this train. Let it keep on riding, riding, riding on through. Well, people all over the world join hands, start a love train, a love train. Come on, people all over the world join hands, start a love train, a love train. Brothers over in Africa, yes, and tell all the folks in Russia and China too. Hey, don't miss this train at the station, 'cause if you miss it, you know I'm gonna be sorry for you. Well, people all over the world join hands. Come on, start a love train, a love train. People all over the world join hands and start a love train, a love train. People all over the world join hands, start a love train, a love train. People all over the world join hands, start a love train, a love train.
Those big old freight trains, they come running through my yard. Those big old freight trains, yeah, they shake the wall real hard. Yeah, maybe later on today, I hop that train, let it take me far away. I hop that train, let it take me far away. I hop that train and let it take me far away.